See, this was perfect timing.
Right.
Hi, this is Eric Sloof reporting live from the VMworld in Europe. We are in Copenhagen and I'm standing right next to David Messina. He's from Xangati, and Xangati is the provider of all the software that is monitoring the lab environment at the live labs at VMworld Copenhagen. Hi David, how are you?
Eric, I'm doing fantastic. This has been a great show and very great to meet you.
Okay.
Thanks for having us on the show.
I noticed that your product already won in San Francisco, was a finalist for the best product.
Yes.
Can you explain me a little bit about what your product is doing and why VMware is using it here?
Okay, so Xangati is what we call an infrastructure performance management solution. What that means is that we're looking at all the elements in the virtual infrastructure, so servers, network, storage, and end user devices. And that understanding of the interactions, as an example, between the virtual desktop, which is in the data center, and the end user terminals like here, is something that Xangati sees uniquely in a live and continuous fashion. So what you'll see when we go inside to the operations center is that we can actually see the VDI sessions in aggregate live to the second, and then down to the individual session. So this is part of what makes this very unique, is the ability to see across the whole infrastructure and see things in a real-time, continuous fashion.
Okay, that's great, that's great. You're right, we're standing in front of the operations center. This is the heart of the VMworld labs. When I peek, they are at a lot of virtual machines already rolled out. Yep. Let's join your colleague who is in the operations center. Okay, so we just entered the control room. David, can you introduce me to your colleague?
Yes, absolutely. This is Nathaniel Iverson, and Nathaniel is our technical marketing director and has been working with the folks here in the operations center to help the Xangati provide insight into the VDI infrastructure here at the show.
So what are you actually doing with this software? Can you show me? Can you tell me some highlights? How you monitor all the labs?
Sure. What we're doing is we're actually tracking all of the VDI sessions that are happening here in the lab. So there's basically 240 workstations here. 120 of them are going back in the States to Ashburn, Virginia, and the other 120 are going back to the Terramark facility in Miami.
Okay.
And so each of these is running a VDI session using PC over IP. To go back, and then so the various students can interact with the labs. And so what we're doing is basically monitoring each of those user sessions and taking down all of the details about how much bandwidth they're using, what the bandwidth patterns are, and establishing what's normal for all those. And then at the end of the show, all of that data will be turned over to VMware and to their engineering team to evaluate the performance of the labs and for use in developing their product.
Okay, so what's the total amount of bandwidth you have available for all the sessions?
Well, the show network basically uses 100 megabit links to go back across the Atlantic, so they have dedicated 100 meg pipes to each of the data centers.
Okay, and your software already detected some congestion, or is it all nice below the lines?
It's all nice and below the lines. Everything is running well within parameters.
Okay, okay. I think this is a real nice showcase for your software. This is the place where you can do a real good, give a real good insight in how it works and if it's okay or if it eventually works out.
Yes, well, I mean, it's obviously an environment that high reliability is important. The show is critical for VMware and for their reputation and for testing their product, and it's a great demonstration that their software is indeed ready for prime time, that the cloud services are real, and for us, it's likewise an opportunity, for our software to be performing in a very high performance environment.
Right.
The bandwidth is high, the need for uptime is critical, and the need for the results is likewise, very important.
I attended a few labs and I saw that VMware is hosting ESX on ESX. I can imagine that that's an extra factor which can have a tremendous effect on the performance. but people blame the network, but maybe it's a nested ESX server. How do you cope with that sorts of situations?
Well, the nested ESX servers are actually working quite well, and inside of our tool, it's quite clear what effects are happening versus CPU versus the network versus storage, and so it's fairly easy to break those things apart. The team here has put a lot of effort into the design of the network, of course, and so all of those factors have been well accounted for.
Okay, great.
Can we also get maybe a shot of the UI from this side?
Sure, yeah.
But just to answer that question in more detail, one of the things coming back to what the solution does is it's looking across all the aspects of the infrastructure, the servers, the network, the storage, and the end user devices. So really the role of the solution for a VI administrator or somebody running VDI projects is that they really get to decipher where the challenges are. So many times a virtual administrator will get framed on a problem, but it's actually on the physical network.
Right.
And
or
we
on
actually,
storage,
or on storage, or on whatever. And the fact is that we actually, unlike any other virtualization product, see into the physical network.
Okay.
And the fact that we see into the physical network is paramount to the success of a VDI solution, because there could be something on the network affecting a VDI session, and the virtualization administrator gets blamed. So we can help deal with those kind of issues.
Okay. It's awesome, but I always want to see the screenshots. So let's take a peek at what bandwidth everyone is communicating. Can you give me some insight into the screen we're actually looking at?
Sure. The screen that you're looking at here has a number of things going on. It's basically summarizing some views of the top virtual machines by CPU usage, memory usage, and this shows tracking the storage latency is also extremely important in terms of making sure that the VDI performance stays high. And one of the key things that we're looking at here is all of the network traffic, and you can see the NFS traffic that's going out to the storage arrays, and you can also see the actual PC over IP bandwidth that's being used in real time here in the network. And you can basically see that each of these dots here is a 1 second interval, so we're actually tracking the performance of all of these metrics in real time.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, great. Thanks for having me. Eric Sloof is signing off. This was a real nice video at the VMworld, at the labs. So see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, actually,
Eric Sloof was just an average guy from Holland. First, he was on the radio. Then, he went to the bathroom. Now, he's in the Twilight Zone. Forever.